record. Okay, so basically, as I said before, I like to start with Classroom, with Google Classroom, or how to import your classes or create your classes. So on the left panel here, there's a section that's called My Classes. There's a plus button next to it. I click on the plus button and then I go to Create Class. And so, and then because you guys are Google Classroom, you don't have to bother with these here. All you have to do is import a Google Classroom. Now, even if you have multiple Google Classrooms, you can only import one at a time. The reason is, and you'll see in a minute. So I only have one class. So once I press that, I got this one class. And when I click on it, I am getting the roster. And so here I'm getting my students. The reason that you have to, that you do it one at a time is because there are schools that are using it for gifted and talented. So they want to be able to select the students that they want to import. And so, we have both options here. We have the option to select individual students or to select all. So when you're selecting all, you just click on the select all button and then you click on the sync button and, and voila, here it is. The class was created with the students in it. So that's the entire thing. The only, as I said, the only disadvantage is that you have to import them one at a time if you have multiple classes. But it's also a good idea because it will allow you to look at the roster and see that everybody's included, that, you know, so it has advantages. Okay, let me just sign out of this account now and go back to the previous one. Okay. So, all right, so what we have here is, so after you import your classes, I would like to go into the class and show you what to expect inside the class. So let's say that we are going and we are looking at my science class. So the classes, once they are imported, they are listed underneath my classes here, as you see here. And so these are all my classes. So I'm clicking on a class here on my science class. And on the top, I have menu items. One of them says projects. Right now we are in projects. In projects, you have all the project tiles of your students. So even if you have the same images showing up here, once you assign the projects and everything, this is where those projects are ending up. And when you come to projects, you'll be able to see all your students' projects here, and you'll be able to distinguish between them by the names that are showing up on each of these tiles. Then moving on to members, this is where you'll be able to see the roster that you imported. So that makes sure that all your students are here. And you can also co-teach classes. So how do you, yeah.
Let's see what that is.
Hi.
So y'all have revamped this place, huh?
We have.
Did y'all have to live across the street to the other buildings there?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm Scott. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Glenn.
Good to meet you.
Hold on one second. We work with all the after the department, so we sign my books. So-
Okay. Yeah, I'm in a meeting. I gotta jump on that. It's okay. We'll talk again.
All right.
Well, I don't know why we have random visitors wandering today.
Okay, that happens. Okay, so here are, as I said before, you can co-teach a class. And so how do you do that? In order to co-teach a class, so first of all, anybody that you're adding to the system, you need to make sure that that the first time they signed up, that you provided them with that sign up link, except for students. If you have your Google Classroom then they are in the system already. You don't need to provide them with that sign up link that I gave you in that email.
Okay,
Okay,
what about teachers that are already assigned as teachers in the Google Classroom?
I don't think that it will import teachers.
Okay.
But you need to provide them with a sign up link.
Okay.
But you know what? I don't have experience because I have a model Google Classroom class, and I don't have their yeah, I actually have myself as a teacher, and it did not import me. So
Okay.
so yeah, that's the answer. Okay, so so basically this is, as I said before. Now, how do you co-teach a class? The way to co-teach a class is you have on the top here, underneath science, Visa Science, you have something that says class code, and it's very small. To see it bigger, there is a little square next to it. You can click on it, and then it provides you that in big. You can copy, and you can send this class code to the teachers that you want them to co-teach with you the class. Okay. There is also something that we call co-authoring a project. That process is different. So let's say that you decide that you want 2 teachers to co-author a project together. I'll show you in a minute how that is done. Okay, so this is just co-teach this way. Then now let's say that you need to remove a student from the class. There is a trash can next to each student name. You can click on it and just, and remove the student from the class. To add a student to the class, exactly the same way. You provide them with a class code. You provide them with class code, they log in, they come in here where it says my classes, and they go to join class. And then they type in the class code here, and they are part of the class.
Same class.
Yeah. The same way you do for the teacher. So if you want a teacher to co-teach with you, you provide them with the class code, then they come and click on the plus button here and select join class and type the class code, and they're part of the class.
And so the only thing that makes them the co-teacher, is it because the kind of account that they have is a teacher account? So it
That's
puts them
right.
in the teacher column?
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's basically now assignments. Assignments, I am going to show you in a minute how to assign a project to a class. And when you assign it, there's 2 ways to assign a project to the class. One of them is that you know already who's going to be in each team, and you decide. And the other way is that you decide that you want to delegate. When you want to delegate, then you will delegate it to a team leader. So in any case, you have to assign it to team leaders. And then those team leaders then are going to get their project here under assignment. So they will log in, come to the class, go to assignments, and they will find their project. Usually the project is on the top, but I'm just going to show you this one because it also shows you whether the project was started or not. In this case, it wasn't. So you click on this yellow where it says not started. It opens it up, and there is a start assignment here. So the team leader who you assigned will come in here, go to the class, go to assignments, find the project, click on it, and then it opens up, and they will go to start assignment. And when they do start assignment, they get the class roster. So when I do this, it also tells me that if you are part of a group, only the group leader should start the assignment. And then when I do confirm, then it gives me the roster. And then I can now, as a team leader, select who's going to work with me in this team.
Okay. If the students are already pre-assigned, then it's already there and they just
That's
open
right.
it.
I'll show you how that works. Don't worry. I'm just showing this one to you because this is part of the class.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Okay, and then settings. In settings, you can, I'll show you how the analytics for student looks. But if you decide that it's too competitive, so first of all, for teachers, we are not recording any analytics. So don't expect any analytics for teachers. But for students, if you decide that it will be too competitive for them or something, you don't want the analytics to show up, you can check in the classroom settings, you can check this off. because right now it says show analytics to students. But if you don't want to, that's fine. Okay. All right, so let me just go back. And let me now go to let me start with actually the 3 ways of how to create projects. And from there, we are going to move on to how to assign it to students and the rest. So let me just go to the Project Paths catalog. And as I said, we recommend that you start by using one of our projects. The reason is that it just kind of gives you an idea how a project was designed, what do you have in each tab and all these things. It gives a good idea how to do projects in Project Paths. So, I mean, we recommend that you start with a starter project, with one that, you know, is listed out here as a starter project, because it's very short and, you know, one that you can always use. You know, you can always brainstorm about anything. So this would be a very good start. So let's say that I am now going to use this. Now, you know, many times you just want to see how the project looks like. So you can click on the name, on the project's name, and then it opens up the project and you can see exactly what's going on in here. So there's a few little, you know, sticky notes with, it says my brainstorming idea and so on. I'm not going to go into this because I'm going to go into this later. And then there is some general brainstorming guidelines here. And there's even another method by which students can do brainstorming. These are 2 different methods for doing brainstorming, actually quite beneficial because it can be used in any subject. So let's say that you decide, okay, this is wonderful, I want to use this. So you go back to the starter projects here, and you will now hover over and go to clone. Because this project in the catalog, you cannot change. But when you clone something, then this is your copy. Oh, this is so annoying. Okay. Now, now it tells you that it will be created in a minute. Now let's just refresh the page because many times it was, you know, and here it is. Now, whenever you clone a project, it always shows up next to the plus button. So here it is, you know, next to the plus button, we have the brainstorm template that I just created. It is under my drafts. It's always under my draft because the my drafts area is the area where you author projects before you assign them to the class. So you just clone the project, you want to use it. This is your copy next to the plus button. You click on it and you can now go inside and start changing things or adding things or whatever you want to do. Everything here is fair game. You can change everything in here. Now, how do you assign this to the class? Let's say, you know, you are happy with it, you went over it, you did all the changes that needed to be done, and now you want to assign this to the class. So there is in the project dashboard, one of the sections here, one of the menu items is assigned to class. You click on assign to class, and then you get the list of your classes here. And then you select a class. So let's say that I want to select it and move it to class A. And then once I do that, then these buttons are being enabled. And I can create teams. That is when you decide who are the team members. And then the other one is skip teams and assign. It means that you are planning to delegate. So you have to decide which one. So that we are going to choose the first one, the create teams, where you know who is going to be in the team. And now you get the roster. So now you can team them up. So let's say that Benjamin is going to work with John and then add to team. And then let's say that Darren is going to work with Daniel and add to team. So you see that these teams are being created and you can exhaust the entire thing. I'm not going to do the whole thing right now because this is just a demo. So I created just 2 teams here. And then once you finish this and that's it, then you go to finish and assign. And then it tells you assignment processing, check the class in a few minutes. Now, the reason it says that, because many times you have a project that has multiple tabs and it has to copy for each student. So it takes a while. So don't expect your projects to immediately show up in the class. Come back to it in a few minutes, check it out and see everything is there. So let's see if I'm gonna now refresh this, the page. Here it is. The two projects are here. It created it fast because this is, as I said,
Yeah, the 10
this project
projects.
only has 2 tabs. We only created 2 projects. Okay, so here they are. So this is one way, as I said before. Now let's go to the other way of how we assign this to the class. Since we started doing the assignments, let's just go back to it and let's select a little bit more sophisticated project here. So I'm going to go to the Project House catalog, and now I'm going to choose, let's say, Everyone's a Winner, a study of conflict and mediation. And let's pretend that I went through it and I like it, and I'm going to clone it. So I'm going to now this is a quite exhaustive project, so this will take more time. And so I'm going to wait a few minutes until it shows up, and I'm going to refresh the page. And then I'll show you how this is going to be assigned, but this time you're going to delegate. This time I'm going to show you how you delegate. And let's see if it's there already. Yes, it is. And as you see, each time, whenever you clone, it always shows up next to the plus button. So the latest is always here. So I'm going to go inside this project. And now I'm going to go into assign to class. But this time, I'm going to assign it to class B, and I'm going to go skip teams and assign. And then it says assignment created. Now let's check that this is true. So it takes me to the class, and now I'm going to assignments. And guess what? On the top, it says Everyone's a Winner, a study of conflict. It's always showing up on the top with the yellow label that says not started, okay? And I already showed you how a student now comes in, goes to the class, goes to assignments, finds this, goes and clicks on start assignment, and gets the roster and picks who is going to work with them. Would you like
Now,
me to?
what is that process for them? Is it the same?
Okay,
They
let
would
me
go-
just
they
show
would go to
you.
members?
Let me sign in as, you know what, but before I do that, let me see who's in this class so I can select the right people here to log into. And okay,
It was class B, I think.
yeah. So I'm gonna pick another student here. Student, I mean, here. And I'm gonna log in. And now, oh, this is class, oh, so,
Yeah, it was from class B. I think you were looking at students in class A.
okay, so sign out. Okay, so I'm gonna choose somebody else here. Okay, and let's go to class B. And let's go to assignments. And here it is, okay? It's here, Everyone's a Winner. And so Elizabeth now comes in, goes to assignments, and she presses start assignment, and she confirms that she's the team leader. And then she gets the roster, and now she can select Darren to work with her, or maybe Darren and Danielle. And then she presses start.
And that would be it would be the whole class roster is available.
Yes, the whole class roster. This is a small class for me. It's a demo class. So
Now,
yeah.
when another student is selected, are they removed from the list, or
So what do you mean
could-
another student selected?
so they pick one of their classmates
They
and
can
then
pick more
another,
than
and
they
then
can pick more
another,
than one.
but then like another leader starts theirs.
Yeah.
Are the students who are already in a group removed from the list?
You
Or
know
they just
what?
have to,
This-
they just
this
have to
is-
know?
This is a good point. I didn't think about it, but you know, we have to deal with this.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it like, like a sports draft,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
who's left?
Yeah,
Who's available?
exactly. Yeah, this is a good point. Thank you.
I think most of our projects would probably be assigned ahead of time, but I love this idea of they could self-select
Yeah.
later down the line.
Okay. Let me just write this up. Okay, I will tell this to our development team to resolve this issue. I mean, to address it, not to resolve, to address it, because we have not addressed it yet.
Now, so the other question is like, if I set teams, groups of 4 students, everybody sees that they're in a group,
Mhm.
are they able to add another student to their group?
Yeah, in a
So
minute.
if they
I'll show-
wanted, so if they wanted to show it to somebody, or they wanted somebody to help
Oh,
them for a
okay,
little
so
while.
showing is a different story, if they just
Oh,
want to
okay.
show it. But if they want to add somebody to work with them, then I'll show you how that works.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking like, feedback from another group
Yeah,
and
so,
vice
so
versa.
let me explain. Feedback is an important thing in project-based learning, and we know that. And we have a plan this year, this academic year, to add a chat, not chat, it's kind of like a chat feature that you can go into somebody's project and start chatting with them and provide feedback, even if you don't belong to the project.
Okay,
So yes, we are planning on having that. We know it's very important. Okay, so here's the project. Here it is, the one that was just created. So Elizabeth created it, and she has 2 other team members working with her on the project. So now it showed up on the project and it's available here. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now let me move on, move back on to the project files to the. Oh, this is the student account. So let me just sign out of the student account and go back to my account. And now let me show you how you're going to create. So the first method, by cloning, you already know. Now there are 2 more methods. Method number 2 is to use our project wizard. Project wizard allows you to do 2 things. So let's say my project. So this is my project. And you click OK, and you can type in a description of the project, but you can also do it later. So I'm going to skip this phase. And then we are moving on here. And, let's say that you want to add an image to this, so you can still add an image. So we can type in here, whatever project, the name project. And then you can go to images in Google and just choose any of this. Let's say that we are choosing, I don't know, this. And then I'm going to right click on this and copy image address and go back to project files. And then click where it says insert URL. I'm going to insert this URL that I just copied from Google. And here it is. So here's my project image. And now I'm moving on. Now here it gives me a few options. So the wizard allows you to do 2 things. One of them is when you really feel comfortable doing a project from scratch, you're going to choose the blank option and then press finish. But if you decide that you want to use our one-tap templates, and those are, each of them is dedicated to one functionality, and then combine them with other one-tap templates that are going to be more fitting to your project goals, instead of you having to design every single tab by yourself, then you can do that. So here we are offering you 4 introductory templates that you may want to start with these, So you can go, let's say that you want your class to do an observation, some phenomena. So you would choose the observation template as your beginning tab. And then you will go add phase. Now it gives you more one-tap templates here to choose from. And let's say that none of them fits what you want. You go to more templates. And in more templates, you have a whole list of projects that are displayed here, that you can include in your project. And so let's say, so we had observation. Now we have problems based on observation. Wow, this is great. I can add that one and press save. And so let's say that this is my entire project, only 2 tabs, whatever. And I can go and I can click on finish. I mean, you can add as many phases as you want and keep adding from these more templates. And then you press finish. Now here it is. Here's your project. And when I go into my project, I see that these two tabs were already there, you know? So first it was the observation, and then here I have the problems based on observation. So you don't have to design this. All you have to do is maybe to make some changes that fit your needs, but you don't have to design them from scratch. So that's the advantage. And as I said before, number 3, you do the same thing that I showed you now, but you only select the blank one and then finish. And then it gives you an empty project with only one tab that is all empty. And then you can start working. Okay. Now let's say that you forgot something and you still want to add something to it from the one tab templates. You can go to this project and you can click on the plus button here. And it says new tab. When you say new, select new tab, it adds a new tab from scratch, but an empty one. But when you go to new tab from template, then here are our new tabs. And you know, we have quite a few. We have a few pages of those. So we have pagination here, and you can pick any of those as additional. So let's say that your next one should be an ideate template, and you press create, and then you close. So here it was just added. The ideate template is here. Okay, so here you built yourself a project from all those one tabs. And, you know, once you check them, of course, and you decide that they will address what your needs are, and you create yourself a project from, you know.
Now, there was like, if you hit add tab from template, it shows the brainstorming activity.
If you want to add the brainstorming.
But that one had 2 tabs in it.
Yeah, so.
Is
so
it only bringing
you
one of those?
Let me show you one more thing. Now, these are all one tabs and so on, but what we also provide you, we also allow you to copy a tab from another project. So although you're limited in the number of one tabs, but you are not limited in what you can add. So let's say that you want to add from the brainstorming template, you want to add any of these tabs to any project that you just created. So you will right click on where it says brainstorming. Let's say you decide this one. And then you go to copy to another project. And here it lists for you all your projects, including project IDs. And so that if you have a project, 2 projects with the same name, you know exactly where to add them. So we just created my project, the one that you want to add it to. So I'm going to select that. And now let's see what happened. I'm going to go back and open my project again. And guess what happened? The brainstorming tab that we just copied is here. And you can move it. Let's say that you want to move it to the beginning. You can drag it and move it to the beginning as the first tab. So yes, so actually your options of adding tabs to your projects are unlimited.
This is fantastic.
And you can also duplicate tabs in the same project. So when you right click here on ideate, let's say you need more than one ideate, you will right click and you will go to copy here. And it says, okay, it was copied. So now you have 2 ideate tabs in the same project. So you can do both. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So those are the 3 ways to do to work on projects. So let's now, since I showed you how to assign everything, you know how to delegate, you know how to create your projects. Let me now show you, and you know how to create your classes and import your Google Classrooms. Let's focus on first of all, on the project dashboard. So in the project dashboard, for every one of these tabs, on the top, you have instructions for this tab. And in the instructions for this tab, this already existed for the brainstorming tab, so you imported it. And we also provided a video to explain how the brainstorming works. And we also have explanations here. Anything that's in here can be changed. You can actually update this and change this completely to fit your needs if you don't like what we explain here. Okay. And then as I said before, each of them has their own instructions. You can change them, you can provide your own, and so on. So just wanted you to be aware that every single tab has its own instructions. And then details of the project. So here, let's say you don't like this image, you can change the image. You can go and put another image here. You can even add a YouTube video. If you have a YouTube video that you would like the students to see before they start, you can add it here. You can change the name from My Project to something else. And okay. And then I'll get back to publicly visible in a minute. But you know, maybe I should explain what it is. So publicly visible, when you check this publicly visible, then what happens is that you can provide the project URL, this, to anybody outside of the school, because they will not be able to see neither the analytics, neither the student analytics, nor the teacher analytics. They will be able, however, to see the entire project, even if they don't have a Project Pulse account. So this is the way by which you share a project with somebody else. Okay. So make sure, you know, I mean, it's up to you when you want to check that, probably towards the end of the project when the project is ready.
And it's like, if they can view, it's kind of, they can self-pace, navigate themselves through it. They just can't change anything.
That's right.
Okay.
And then here, the status of the project: in progress, finished, and graded. So graded, only teachers are getting graded, but students will get in progress and finished. So when it's finished, they will change the status of the project to finished. You as a teacher will know that. You can go to those finished projects, and then once you finished grading them, you can select graded so that you won't have to go back to a project that you already graded several times. And then over here, you can type the project description. So there's no project description right now, but you have editing tools to actually describe the project for your students.
And is
And,
that whole project, is that the whole project level or by tab?
So this is the whole project level.
Okay.
So the only thing that is by tab is the instructions.
Okay.
The rest is all project level. I know it's a little bit confusing, but the changes that we are planning to make, we are planning to make tasks by tab. We are planning to make support materials by tab. So all those things will be available in the future. So you will probably see here like a menu that says entire project tab, and then you see all the, you know, all the menu items for tab and all the menu items for the entire project. But right now, all we have per tab is the instructions.
Okay.
And then team members. And you asked me about how can I add more students or more teachers to a project. So this is one way. So you go to here. So once this is assigned to a class, then you will be able to see the team member's name. So maybe I should go there to the one that we assigned already to a class, and I'll show you that. So let's go into this project that was already assigned to students. So when I go to team members here, then I see me as a teacher, but I also see the 2 students that it was assigned to. And if I want to remove any of the students, I click on the delete button here next to them. And if I want to add students to this team, then I will have to select what is it that I'm adding. Am I adding a teacher or a student? Let's say I'm adding a student, and I have to type in the first and last names. The reason is that it's done this way, it's because the assumption is that all these students are already in the system. You cannot add somebody who's not in the system here.
Okay.
Therefore, the system needs to recognize them. So you need to type in first name and last name. The system will come up with the result, with what they found. And then you can select that person and you click on add selected user. And then that user will be part of the team. Okay. This is also the way by which you can add another teacher to this specific team. Let's say that I mean, I don't know, sometimes you want to add an expert and that expert works only with one team or whatever. This is the way to do
Mhm.
that. Okay.
Okay.
And then, so after that, standards. So standards, again, this is not the right place to add the standards, of course. The right place to add the standards is before you assign it to the class. So you would, this is a specific project that I'm going to be adding standards for. But let's say that this wasn't assigned yet, this project. And then I'm going to standards here. Whatever I'm adding here will reflect, when I assign it, will reflect to all the teams. So add standards, I'm clicking on add standards. I'm selecting what type of standards, so let's say Common Core. And then I'm selecting the whatever subject this is, let's say that English language. And then I'm going to go to grade level, and let's say that this is 7th grade. And then I'm just going to choose, I'm just going to pick the standards that I think that apply, and I'm going to add selected standards. And here are the 3 ones that I selected, and they show up here. I have the trash can to delete them if I made a mistake. We are working, and that's going to be very soon, or your ability to add custom standards, custom meaning copy and paste. So you'll be able to copy, and then it's going to put it in here. So that's coming very soon. We can also add, if there's special standards that you want us, set of standards that you want us to add, we can do that. You just have to provide us with the CSV file with those standards, and we'll add them. So that's standards.
Okay.
Supporting materials. Let's say, I don't know whether this brainstorming is about health. So, health, I'm just going to put health here. Best health practices. And I'm going to select whatever comes up here, 7 healthy habits to have. And I'm going to just select the URL, copy it, go back to project files, go to add material, and I'm going to paste the URL here and go. And now this is showing up here. And if I click on it, the link, then it opens up in a new tab, and the students can read the material and so on. So that's the way. Types of material that you can add, supporting material that you can add are websites, are PDFs, are YouTube files, MP3 files, any G Suite file, and any Office 365 file. Again, not the one on your desktop, the one that sits on the web. And then tasks. As I said before, in project-based learning, we think that tasks are just absolutely mandatory. Because otherwise, you want to avoid the situation where students start fighting. No, you should have done this. No, I should have done this. All that. Try to avoid it. Have them manage themselves. So I suggest that you actually start with general tasks for specific issues that before you assign this to the class. And the reason is that once you assign it, this will be part of everybody's project. Okay. So these are your tasks, the one that you want them to make sure that they have. And then what's special about these tasks is that there's nobody to assign it to because you have not assigned it to a class yet. So these are, as I said, general for everybody. And then type in the title here of your task and go to the due date, wherever due date it is, describe the task, how you want them to do it, and then just press submit and it's going to show up here. So I'm just going to make a short test and then select the due date here, let's say tomorrow, and then another test here, and then submit. And so this is my top level, and let me show you how it looks. So the title here is test, the due date is here, description is test, whatever, and that's all they see. They will see what you tell them that you want them to do, and everybody will get this. Now, once they have it and they have these top level tasks, they can look at it and say, oh, okay, now we can divide the work. You're going to do this text box and I'm going to do this one. And these are going to be, once you assign it, the students' names are going to show up here underneath. And you can then, they can then check and say, oh, Joe is going to do this and Jane is going to do this. And now they know that underneath your top level tasks, they actually need to accomplish all these things and they know who's going to do it. That makes the difference. Believe me, it's just students are not confused. They're not upset. They know what each of them has to do. It's very important. Now to delete a task, just click on the trash can. To edit a task, click on the edit button here and you can change it. And then when the task is complete, then they just check mark like this and that's complete. And you know that it's green, it's complete. We are planning to add the tasks into a calendar. So you'll be able to have a calendar view of everything. That's coming soon.
Mhm.
And
And for right now, tasks are whole project. They're not tab specific.
yeah, they will be tab specific. They will be, but not.
Do you know when that's going to happen or?
Yes, that will happen the next semester, yeah, after January.
So
we are
for right
coming-
now,
Yeah.
teachers might want to put some sort of little marker saying like
Exactly. So what I'm
brainstorm, these are the assignments. and then
Exactly.
mind map, these are
when
the
you
assignments.
when you create a task, just write the name of the tab that you are referring to
In the beginning.
on the title. Yeah. We are working on Workspace 2.0, and that is coming in January. And with a lot of changes, that's going to be major. So including that. Okay. I already showed you assign to class, you know how to assign a project. Publish to catalog. This is where let's say you design the project and other teachers like it and they want to use it. You can now publish your project to the catalog. So you have the option of publish to school catalog or publish to the district catalog. And when you click on it, then it gives you a whole set of things, you know, full project, because we also have, you can also publish single tabs. And the reason we allow that now is because we allow the teachers to paste their projects. So let's say that we start only with one tab. I don't want to show you what's coming. And then in a month, I want to add another tab. So you can do that now, okay? And so you select the type of subject this is covering, what level it is, duration of the project, and the project type, whether this is a lesson plan, a starter project, whatever this is, and then press submit. And when you do that, then this project is going to be added into the school catalog. So where is the school catalog? It's again under the project here in the left panel. And it has here a section that says project catalogs. And one of them is the project past catalog, but underneath we have the school catalog. And there's quite a few projects in the school catalog that I published. And again, they have the ability to be cloned. So once you publish something to the school catalog, they can be cloned by other teachers and can be used by them. So this is a way for you to publish.
And then if they selected publish global, that would go to the Project Pals catalog?
No.
Or
No, not yet. Right now,
Okay.
we don't allow that.
just school or district?
That's right. That's right. Eventually, in the future, yes, we will. We would like actually that to happen. Okay. So that's as far as, let me just go back to the project. So publish to catalog, evaluate. This is where you will add a rubric. You can add, again, like supporting materials, you can add any file here to be a rubric. It could be not a desktop-based Word file or something like that, because that we are not supporting. But if this is an Office 365 file, the one that sits on the web, yes. You can add PDFs, you can add any, websites, wherever that rubric shows up, you can publish that here. And it's going to display exactly like the supporting materials with a link. And the students are clicking on the link, it opens in a new tab. So that's how you add that. And then finally, the analytics. So as I said before, right now, there's nothing in here because this was not assigned to students yet. But once they start working, you will start seeing information here. Okay, so this was the dashboard. Now let's move on to the workspace. So you know already a lot about tabs because you already know that they can be copied to other projects, that they can be copied locally to the same project, that you can move them right or left, or you can just hold them and just move them like this, okay? And then you can delete a workspace if you need to. You can rename a workspace. And the last one is we need to remove that menu item. Sorry about that. You cannot create a tab template right now. So that's the as far as tabs. Here, when you add a new tab, I already showed you that you can add from scratch, which will create another new tab for you, which is, let's say I'm creating it. It's going to be empty, nothing in it. Or you can use our one tabs, and here it's going to give you those one tabs, and you can select, and you can still add them even if you forgot to add them while you were creating the project. So these are both options. I don't know, I don't want to confuse you right now with how to paste the project. If we have time towards the end, I'm going to show you. So now these tools here on the left are the tools that you can use in the workspace. So let's start from the brainstorming here with the text tool. So the text tool is the tool immediately underneath the content library, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And the text tool, to create a new text box, all you have to do is click on the A here, and that gives you an empty text box, and you can start typing. When you click inside, you get all the editing tools available for you, and you can start working. So these little sticky note like things were created from text boxes. So all we did is basically went to the three dots here and went down to format item. And when you go to format item, you get all these colors that you can color them with. And it also has something that's called mark with pin. And when you mark with pin, it looks like a sticky note. So all these sticky notes were created that way. And let's say that you already formatted, you like the size and everything, and you want them to have that student to have more, or that student wants to have more of these. All you have to do, click on the three dots and go to create copy. And when you create a copy, it's already with that color, with that font, or whatever you did, it's already there, and you don't need to each time press the A button and do the whole thing again. So that's that. That's how you do this whole thing. So here the students are just going to highlight this and start typing their ideas. If they need more stickies, they're going to click on the three dots and create copy. And they can also add images or drawings of their ideas here. And that's it. This is the entire brainstorming session here. Let's move on to here. And what we have here is we have questions. So we have the question tool. The question tool is the tool number 1, 2, 3, tool number 4 from the top. And what's special about questions is that they have this label that tells you that what you should expect on the top is a question. And so to create a question, you click on the question tool, and it gives you an empty placeholder that you can now resize and start typing your question. And let's say that you already resized and you don't want to bother with the resizing again. All you have to do is just click on this and you go to create copy, and it creates exactly the same size, same everything with the question. And even if you have a question in it, you can always highlight and type a new question instead. So, don't have to bother with resizing every time. Now, media. So media is number 3 here. When you click on it, it shows the entire media in this project. To add new media, I already showed you. So if we are searching from, not this one, but let's say that we are searching for new ideas. And okay, I'm going to choose one of those, and I'm going to right click, copy image address, go back to Project Pals, click on the plus button here where it says media. And here I have the option of insert URL, or if my image is on my hard drive, I will click here or drag the image inside this box. And then the hard drive opens and you can select from there. And then once you typed it in or inserted the URL, you just go and here it is. It was just created. You can change the image name if you want to change it instead of all this long name. You can say idea and then just click on the check mark here and it will change the name. And to add this image to the workspace, just select it. And by the way, you can add multiple images at the same time. So place on workspace. And well, the only problem is when you add multiple images is that it adds it on top of each other. So don't be confused. Don't think that, oh, I just added 4 images. I only have 1. Just move them over and they all will be there. And then once you have that image, and let's say that you want to make it bigger or something, you can do that. You can resize it with the handles. You can make it smaller, bigger, whatever you need. Types of media that you can add. You can add images. You can add video, YouTube videos only. So we right now support only YouTube. So even if you have a video on your hard drive somewhere that you recorded in the school, upload it to YouTube first, and then you'll be able to include it in Project Pals. And you can add MP3 files. And in a minute, I'll show you how to add MP3 files. And then you can add, what else? So YouTube, I said, MP3, PDFs, Office 365, any Office 365 file, any G Suite file. All of those can be added here.
Are those hard files or?
So
have
I
to use
can,
it
so
as a
let's say
file?
that I'm going to my Google Drive here. And let's say that I am going to, let me go to projects here. I'm going to choose a project. Here. And let's say budget. And let's say that I am going to add this budget template to my project. I can go, first of all, I have to go to share, have to make sure that anyone on the internet with this link can not comment, but can anyone with the link can, here it is, that's option, anyone with the link, okay? And then copy this link. Once I copy that link, and I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to go to this project, to Project Pals, click on the plus button, insert, and go. And now you see that this is a spreadsheet because it gets the same icon. You click on it, place it on the workspace, wherever you need it, and with a little title or something, and then double click on it, and it opens up in a new tab. And you can start working on it.
Okay, and if it was like, if it's a PDF or something like that, it doesn't. Do the
You will
image,
see the right icon. It will show a PDF icon.
PDF icon, not
Yes.
the actual image. So
Yeah,
if
you
want
will
the image
see
of it. Take a
all-
screenshot. and
Yeah,
post.
all the original icons will be there.
Okay.
And then, okay. Now, components and events I prefer to leave for the end. And then analysis styles. So here under problems and solutions, for example, you see that the same way as we have questions with the label question that tells you what to expect here, we also have something that's called analysis styles. And analysis styles, this is an analysis style. It has the label problem here. So our default is problem, solution, and evidence. But there's also a custom one that you can create, any custom one. So let's say that in addition to problem, you also want to identify a cause. So I'm going to create a cause tile. And here I'm going to say, replace this with the cause for something, or whatever. And then I'm going to create this. Now, when I move this here, and I have a new tile that's called cause. And now I can use my relationship tool to connect cause to problem. So where's the relationship tool? This is the last tool on the bottom. And I have to actually select relationship on the top. and then decide what type of line, whether it's going to be a solid or broken line and so on. And then how thick it's going to be, whether it ends with an arrow, and the color that connects, that I want the connector to be. And now I will hover over my cause. It has those little purple dots that I said that are necessary for connecting. And I'm going to drag from one of those purple dots to another object here, and even define what is the relationship between them. So here the cause proves whatever the problem is, or maybe not proves, but never mind. So you'll put the right link, the right connection between them. So that's that. Now, as long as the relationship box is open, you always will get these little purple dots. To make sure that they are not showing up anymore, you need to close the box. And then when you close it, then no more purple dots, and you can move things around and change them and so on and so forth. Okay, so, and then we have the annotation tool. And the annotation tool is one underneath the events tool, and you click on it. And annotations, as I said before, I like to use annotations, and let me go to that project for a minute in the catalog, to this completed project about green technology. And what I like to use it for is when I have a big image that I want the students to zoom into some phenomena in it. And in this case, I want to show that I have this house that was built with green technology, and I want to show them how each of these green technologies for the roof and for the for the appliances and for everything, how that was done. And then I click on the annotation here, and it has a little video explaining how roof insulation for green buildings works, and a short explanation here, as well as a title. And so to create an annotation, all you have to do is, all you have to do is go and click on the annotation tool, which is the second from the bottom. And you have a name that you can type here. You can put here an image or a video, and here an explanation. And over here, you can change the color of the annotation. So they don't necessarily have to be all blue, because you can change other colors. You can make them green or anything, any color that's here. And many times you can also make annotations that are only the label without that. Let's say that this icon is in the way and you don't want to have that. You can select show label only, and then only the label will be shown here and not the icon. So that's how, that's the whole idea behind annotations. And so I showed you everything except for the content library. Do you have a few more minutes, because we arrived at the end of the session? Yeah. Okay, so
the event tool,
components and events, I'll show you now.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So here is, so let's say that you created a question, or let's say I'm going to create now this question, and I realize that I don't need this question anymore. Now I can go to the three dots, and as I said before, nothing is deleted permanently. That's why you have archive object. This object will be archived. Okay. Now, let's say that you decide, well, okay, I archived it, it disappeared, but I would like it back. I would like to restore it. Suddenly discovered you need another question. You now go to the content library. Everything that's in this project was recorded in the content library. You know, we just added the cause, the little cause tile, it's here. And in fact, everything you added to it recently is here under recent. Is going to be listed here under recent with the type, what type of object this is. And then, but let's say that you just want now to restore what you deleted. So there's on the top, there's a section that says show archive, and you move the button there. And here it is, here is that question that we just archived, and you click on it, you can press restore, and here it is. It just restored it for us. Okay, so anything you archive can be restored. Now let's go back to the content library for a minute. And the content library, the reason you have the content library is because just imagine that you are doing a project about something, okay? Ooh, wait, just a minute. Let me just make sure because I have a conflict.
Yeah, and if you have to go, I can play with what we've covered and
Okay. It's just my tech team, so they'll wait a few more minutes.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So the content library, let's say that you have a project and you want to, and you have information, let's say all these problems here listed, but then you want to do a compare and contrast of all these problems somewhere in a new tab, okay? You can now drop all those, you go to the content library, you don't have to redo them because you have everything there. And now you go to all these tiles, to analysis tiles, and here are all your problems, and you click on it and copy to workspace. And so now you can make a whole table comparing all those next to each other here. And you can, so basically what it allows you is an alternative way of presenting information, which is very powerful for students. So that's the other thing that you have here.
okay.
Okay, now components. Components is here. And, so basically components, I already told you that components are the main parts of a problem. So, I would say a component, let's say that I'm doing a component about myself. So myself, I'm going to call it myself. And then I'm going to put an image of myself here. And then I'm going to start with characteristics. So I have blue eyes. This is one characteristic of me. And red hair. And so on. So I'll keep doing that, okay? And each time, and the way to do that, you can always add here an image of my eyes, or I can add it. And then a description here. And then I can even add additional supporting material for each of them if I need to support whatever I'm saying here with more images or something like that. And then to add new items there's a plus button on the bottom that add item, and you can I can add as many items as I want. So, okay. So I am whatever, something. And then I'm pressing create. When I finished, I'm pressing create. And here is my component with my characteristics. Now, of course, in the case of any subject, that would be whatever component they want to investigate. They will do research about it and come up with all the descriptors or characteristics of whatever they are investigating, okay? Now, let's say that, so as I said, components are the main parts of a problem and their characteristics. Events are the processes or timelines. So let's say that I have my life. I want to describe my life, okay? So I can now, start with the first one, and I can say I was born in Romania. Okay, so that's my beginning, and in whatever year, okay? And then I can add here an image of Romania, and then I will start moving. And I immigrated to Israel. So I can make a whole thing. Now, what's great about it, as I said, in social studies and stuff like that, is that I can go to location here. And, I was born in Sibiu, Romania. And I find it in Google Maps, and I can press save. And I can even here put a day of when I was born, okay? So February 14, I'm a Valentine child. And then even an image for myself, and immigrated to Israel, August 61, whatever, basically, you understand the idea behind this. And here I'm going to put Beersheba, Israel. Save. Now I create this, and I can add as many, by the way. I can, let me edit this again. And I can add here by add step on the bottom. I can add as many steps as I need. Now, let me just, let me just edit this for a minute. And let me add a few images of these locations, because then you'll be able to see that more. So, so I will go to the city that I was born, copy image address, and then I'm going to put it in here and paste it. And this is, and the other one is Beersheba, Israel. And here it goes. And copy image address. And go back and type it in here, put it in here in the second one, second item. And let's say that's all, and you can add as many steps as you need, by the way, and by clicking on the add step here and then save. And here it is. Now here I have, dates, I have images, and now I have several views of this. One of them is the default view, which is this. And when you have more steps, you have the arrow here that you can move from step to step, back and forth. But then I can also show it in gallery view. And in gallery view, I see the image big, and I see the text underneath small. And it's so much powerful and amazing. And then I can also see it on a Google map. I can go down to the map view. And why doesn't it show it? Oh. That's weird. That's something new that yesterday was working and today, oh, wait a minute. I don't know. This is working.
It's thinking real hard, yeah.
Yeah, it's working, believe me. Yesterday it was working. So we'll fix it. I mean, I just have a conversation with our development team, so this will be fixed very soon. So that's how the events tool is working.
That's great too. Yeah.
Okay, it's really a powerful tool. And so yeah, so that's now let's say that I want to make a presentation. I finished this, I want to make a presentation of everything. Or if I want to move objects, together, I click on the arrow on the bottom here, and that arrow allows me now to select multiple objects and move them together. And then next to it is the presentation mode. So I click on the presentation mode, that turns it into kind of like a PowerPoint. And now I can use the arrows on the top left corner to move from tab to tab. Okay.
That's great.
I also have zoom in, zoom out, and so on. I mean, you discover that. Now, you also have for every object the ability to comment. So every object, you hover over it, you click on the comment tool, and you start typing, "This is great," and then press comment. Now, right now, it's not going to show because it will only show on projects that were assigned to the class. So if I went to the specific project under the class, you would see a little number here, like a number 1 or something, that will show that there was a comment made, and the student sees that and checks it out.
Okay.
Students can comment on each other's work, and you can also comment on their work. Analytics, I have shown you analytics before in this project, remember? So this is where students can see their contributions. This is where you can see their contributions. So once they start working, you will have all this information available for you. As I said, it's really difficult to cover everything in an hour.
It's so robust. Yeah, it's got so many things going on that
Exactly.
you kind of got to get in it and play with it to really see
Exactly.
how it works.
Okay. All right. So I hope you enjoy. As I said, you have 30 days of free trial, and we are here to help. Oh, help is Let me just sign out as me and sign in as a teacher. And
Yeah, that
And
was,
then-
that was my question. So if I
Yeah.
sign, if I create an administrator account, do I still have the ability to create projects and
Yeah.
act like a teacher? It's just kind of like I just have a higher observation.
yeah.
Okay.
And then if you go here to my project and you go to analytics, not on, sorry, what do I, oh, every area in the, as a teacher or as an admin, you have this little button here that looks like a disk with a blue surrounding. When you click on it, it opens up and it says, send us a message. And then you click on it and you just type here the message, I need help. And there you go. This will get to us and we will be able to take care of it and answer you. And also you have the ability to type in keywords here and to go to our help system. Okay, you know, classes, project dashboard, content, whatever. And you also have access to our help system. Oops, no, that's not what I wanted. You also have access to help system by clicking on the question mark on the top left corner. And here it gives you all our articles. In addition to that, I sent you links to our how-to videos, short videos in YouTube that you can look at. If you forget something, you don't want to go through this whole entire training, you can do that. You can go to our how-to videos.
Okay, that's fantastic.
And this is the last part maybe, and let me just sign out from here. And yes, I have a minute exactly. Let me show you one more thing. And oops. I am working on an orientation project for students. So, and that will be ready. Here it is. Who are you? That will be ready within a week or a week and a half. Once we have that, you can provide that project to students. It's basically focusing on them, on their life. And it for each functionality, we'll have a little video that tells them what to do. So if you want to save yourself the, you know, not to work hard and tell them how to work on it, you can just give them this project in the beginning. That's
Okay.
it.
That is great.
Okay, cool.
I love it. I think the teachers are going to love it.
Cool.
So I can't wait. Can't wait to get to know it.
Perfect, perfect. Okay,
All right. I'll be in touch as soon as we dive in.
okay, perfect.
All
Okay,
right,
bye.
Have a good day. All right, bye.